What is up guys, Ghost here, and today I'm bringing you guys a video on Battlefield 3 Reality mod, most likely the biggest modding project for any Battlefield game. Now in the background you're seeing the trailer that was recently released showing off some of the highlights of what this mod can do, and I'm sure you can tell from the trailer that it's basically bringing more immersion and realism to the Battlefield franchise. So straight away you're going to notice the UI has been completely stripped back. It's a bit more similar to something like Squad. You've basically just got a compass at the bottom of the screen, you've got your ammo counter, and then they've implemented this interactive system where you can enlarge the map, zoom in, place all kinds of beacons on there, FOBs, markings of different types to communicate with your squad. There's VOIP in it, and it's basically a much more tactical, immersive Battlefield 3 experience. And I will say in this trailer that they've done here, there is a lot of communication and teamwork over the VoIP with the guys that are playing there. So if you guys want to go and see the trailer without me talking over the top of it, I'll of course leave you guys a link down in the description, and I thoroughly recommend going and checking that out because honestly I am super stoked to try it for myself. Now, it goes without saying, a lot of people feel like the most recent addition to the Battlefield franchise, Battlefield 2042, hasn't exactly tickled the fancy of everybody within the Battlefield community, so it's nice to see that we still have people working hard on an alternative. So just to convey a little bit of what they're trying to achieve with this mod, as for the setting, the Reality mod is a Battlefield 3 modification with a focus on team play, communication and combined arms. It's set in the real world, starting from the end of the Cold War to modern day conflicts. It offers a complete gameplay and UI overhaul that creates a more tactical and in-depth experience compared to vanilla Battlefield 3. And their goal here is to create an immersive gameplay and a more realistic experience. They are designing and developing all aspects of the game around this goal. Now, you would be forgiven looking at the trailer to think that this was just a simple UI restructure, but actually they've done much more than that. So obviously, as I've already mentioned, they've completely reworked the gameplay and the UI, aiming for more tactical team play when compared to Battlefield 3. Everything is still running on the Frostbite engine that BF3 ran on, so you still get those immersive atmospheric visuals and the fantastic Frostbite engine destruction there. But they're also implementing large-scale battles, so you will be able to have up to 100 plus players on a server. I think at the moment they're just testing with 64 players, but that is definitely the plan later on down the road. They've added an in-game VoIP system with multiple in-game radio channels, including positional audio. They've also created new textures, models, maps and game modes, and then they've also implemented a dynamic visual environment. So you're going to have dynamic weather elements and 24-hour day-night cycles. So as you can see from these shots here is a little example of how things can look depending on the time of day or night and the weather. So just to touch on one of many more features, they've actually gone into the audio and vastly improved that. They've changed the weapons so that they're more audible from further distances and easier to pinpoint with 3D audio. So one of the features that they've added is the bullet cracks, which is the sonic boom sound caused by the bullet breaking the sound barrier. Now in Battlefield 3, the marksman rifles already have this feature. When you're getting fired at, you will hear this bullet crack if somebody's shooting you with a marksman rifle, so it's not that hard for them to take that and port that over to the other weapons in the game. This should basically be a massive improvement and allow you to definitely know if there is a hail of bullets coming your way. But just to give you guys a feeling for how it sounds compared to the original game, I'm going to play you guys a little clip here of a soldier firing a weapon from different distances. You'll realize how greatly they've improved the sound. And if you want to hear what this actually sounds like in a firefight, well, here you go. The quality of this footage isn't great, but it's really the sound that matters here. So this mod is the spiritual successor to Battlefield 2's Project Reality, which was created for Battlefield 2 back in its heyday with the modding tools that were available for the game. Now unfortunately, those modding tools were only available and supported in the Refractor engine up to Battlefield 2142. Past that, once Frostbite came along, there were no modding tools anymore. However, a bunch of talented folks got together and started to work on the modding tools that we now know as Venice Unleashed for Battlefield 3, and in fact a year ago I made a video on Venice Unleashed and showcased some of the things that were available, and I'll show some of that in the background here. It's not going to have any sound because it's just my own video ripped from YouTube, but it just shows off some of the things that are possible with this mod. So you can have nighttime maps, you had enlarged servers with 84 player counts, and of course this was way before Battlefield 2042 came along, and then there were even fun little game modes like dirt bike racing where somebody had sort of repurposed the motorcycles in the game to let you have this race along a fun track in the Caspian border map. And then there were things like Pro Mod, which was basically a Counter-Strike-esque search and destroy type game mode with 5 versus 5, and you had to pick your loadout at the start of each round, and you know, really the possibilities were endless. Whatever you could come up with, it was almost possible to do anything within Venice Unleashed, and I'm almost 100% certain that DICE and EA took some inspiration from this when they decided to implement their Portal mode for Battlefield 2042. Now, back when I made that video, I did of course hear about the Reality mod that was in production for Battlefield 3, but unfortunately it wasn't available for testing, and it still isn't available for testing, at least not for the likes of me. But this little trailer here is the most we've seen of it so far, so I really wanted to highlight this at a time where the Battlefield community is on a bit of a downer. People don't really feel like they're getting their Battlefield fix the way they'd hoped, at least, and I really thought, you know, this needs some light shed on it, and you guys should go and check it out for yourselves and give this trailer a watch. You know, when I see this kind of thing, it really does just bring home how much squad play the Battlefield franchise has the potential for, and how much we've been let down in Battlefield 2042 by just not having the VOIP system. Imagine if you would actually have that communication, you know, okay, I'm going to take a support crate, you take a medic crate, you take an RPG, let's go in as a squad, let's take this objective, let's revive each other, let's jump in a vehicle together. All that kind of stuff just somehow doesn't exist in Battlefield 2042. I don't know about you guys, but for me, most of the time I just use my squad mates as mobile spawn beacons, right? I will spawn on them and I might throw them a res every now and again if I notice that they're down, but I'm not necessarily always hanging with them and attacking the same objective that they are. There just really seems to be no focus at all on what objective to attack, what equipment to equip, or what specialist to choose. And you know, watching Battlefield 3's Reality mod really just brings that home harder than ever. Now, I'm also not going to sit here and pretend that this amazing kind of squad play existed in Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4, okay? No, it didn't, but I definitely had way more interactions with squad mates in vehicles or on the ground as a player than I have had in Battlefield 2042. So if that's the kind of Battlefield experience you're looking for, you might actually be better off looking towards Battlefield 3's modding community than EA and DICE. Anywho, that is going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching the video. As I did mention earlier on, I will leave you guys a link to the trailer so you can watch it without my mumbling, and I'll also leave a link to the mod's website so you can go check that out for yourself. As always, thank you for watching, have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next video.